welcome back to our channel. So today's video I'm going to be talking through crystal therapy and showing you just a few crystals that I have that might be able to help you. You'll be able to see behind me that I have an abundance of different gemstones and crystals that are all around the world. Now I don't have this collection, as you can probably imagine, but I just wanted to show you that there are hundreds of them. So the ones that I say today, they're just sort of general ones that I'm going to talk to you about. But if you wanted to pick a specific crystal for yourself, you have a variety to choose from. There are so many. I think there's even more than what is on here as well. Okay, so crystals, they have been around for thousands of years. You might have seen them in movies where they're on like talismans or amulets, things like that. So throughout this video, what I'd really like you to do is to comment and tell me a film or a TV series or a book maybe that you've read where it actually has a crystal in it. You'll probably think, oh, I don't know any, I can't think of any. But if you genuinely have a little think about the latest films that you watch, whether it's Disney or whether it's an action-packed movie, you might actually realise that there's a crystal or a sacred stone involved. So crystals and gemstones are widely used over in the eastern side of the world more than the western side, and they can use their crystals and their stones for purposes of health, wealth, beauty, whether their crops will grow, whether they'll be able to have children. They pray to these crystals and these stones for so many different reasons, and it's on record that the ancient Sumerians? I'm awful at names. They were the first to note down and believe that crystals had magical powers. The ancient Egyptians, in their paintings and their pictures and their scripture, they would often say how they loved lapis lazuli, they loved turquoise, they loved carnelian and clear quartz as well. These were mainly ones that helped them with protection and wealth, as you can probably imagine. So where did the word crystal come from? That is from the Greek word meaning ice. The ancient Greeks genuinely believed that clear quartz especially was water that had been frozen so deeply that it had formed a solid. And I have a clear quartz here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I'll try. So this is clear quartz. It is see-through, but it kind of has sort of speckles running through it and shards of crystals running through it as well. And this is what they believed was the purest crystal, because what is more pure than water? So the Greeks absolutely loved crystals and stones, especially, I think it's called hematite. They would crush this right down into a fine powder, mix it up with some water, and they would place it all over the soldiers because the soldiers believed that it would make them invisible. The ancient Romans, they loved their talismans, they loved their amulets. They believed that it gave them power, it gave them the strength and health to go into battle, and it also enabled them to attract desirable things. Now, as we know, the Chinese are all over the crystals and the gemstones, and especially jade. That was for protection, for beauty, for pretty much everything. And I think, I'm not sure, but there's been so many different references in the past regarding a jade palace. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, or even if you've been to China and you've seen the jade that's been used in the temples. Chinese doctors also like to use crystals in their therapy treatments as well. They use crystal-tipped needles in acupuncture, and it has been recorded that doctors in India also regard crystal therapy to be a brilliant complementary treatment to heal emotional and metaphysical imbalances and conditions. Due to the advances in science, our greater understanding of vibrations and frequency, we now understand that all things form their own energy. Each energy has its own frequency and own vibration, including crystals. Quantum science has had massive breakthroughs and gained scientific evidence in electromagnetism that support what the ancients knew all them years ago. The evidence shows that crystals vibrate to their own frequency, and when placed within our own energy field, it is able to connect to our vibrational frequency. It can stimulate biochemical responses that can affect our physical health in a positive way. This is why crystal therapy has become more accepted in this day and age. It's a great complementary therapy. Crystals are a substance in which the atoms are arranged in a geometric, symmetrical, and 3D pattern. This is called crystalline. Crystals were formed as the Earth was formed, and they continue to change over time. It is believed that with the help of science, that crystals somehow remember the powerful forces that made them. Some crystals were subjected to enormous amounts of pressure, but others were formed by one layer at a time. Others were formed in chambers deep underground. Crystals come in various shapes and sizes. Here are a couple of examples. They can be formed into a point, great for focusing concentration energy to the body or away from it. A double termination is when it has formed a point at either end. A cluster. This can be a small or large crystal with lots of points and edges. We all know what a geode looks like. They look like caves with many crystals inside. Now, before and after every session, I like to cleanse my crystals and I like to energize them. Here are a few ways that I personally like to do it. I put my crystals in a glass bowl and I run the cold water over them. This washes away any negative energy that is trapped inside them. I don't personally do this, but what is better is to actually put them in a local stream. Grab a net, put them in there and secure it. The only problem with that is that they would like to be staying there for 24 to 48 hours, and I'm not entirely sure whether they'd still be there when I got back. Another good technique is to bury them in the garden. Unfortunately, I can't do this technique as I have artificial grass. I don't have any soil. You can also use fire, although you've got to be very careful, obviously. You light a naked flame or even a candle, and you just pass your crystals through it a few times and it burns all that negative energy away. You can also place all your crystals on a large rose quartz, but I think you can do this on a clear quartz as well. And this is where I'm going to introduce you to Big Rose. Here she is, but she's huge. She's the size of my head. This is Big Rose. I absolutely love her. She is a cluster, so you can see that there's loads of different layers, loads of different sections to her, all jagged, different points as well, coming in and out of her main body. And I just rest all my crystals on her and she sucks in all their negative energy for me. Okay, energizing crystals. Male crystals love the sunlight. Sunlight is so strong and so powerful, and they absolutely love it. Now, female crystals, they love the moonlight. It's very gentle, it's very soothing, it's very soft, and that's what they love. The best one, which I love, is thunderstorms. Just think about it. Putting your crystals in a glass bowl or a glass tray outside. The rain's coming down, trickling over them. You've got the thunder, those big vibrations, those big sounds, and then the lightning, that pure energy. It's just going to be fantastic for energizing any crystal. So, male and female crystals. As you've probably gathered, the difference between male and female crystals isn't that because you're a man you have to have male crystals, and because you're a female you have to have female crystals. It's all to do with the strength of the vibrations, the strength of their frequency, and how they release their positive energy from inside them to you. Males love to project their energy, so they're absolutely brilliant for like healing powers. Let me think of some. So we have amber, we have bloodstone, we have carnelian, citrine or citrine, however you like to say it, hematite, clear quartz and topaz. Female crystals love to slowly release their energy, so they're really great with wisdom, with fertility, with understanding and knowledge, and help with anxiety, stress, that sort of thing. So common female crystals that you might come across would be amethyst, calcite, lapis lazuli, moonstone, rose quartz and turquoise. I also believe that clear quartz can be male and female as well, because like I said before, it is the purest one out there. I think it flitters between the two. So the crystals that I'm going to be showing you today are just merely a handful of what I do have, and I do like to use most of these for my therapy sessions. As you all know, when it comes to these types of therapies, we work on your chakras. We've got 7 of them. You start with your first one at the root where your feet are. You have your sacral where your sort of fertility area is, let's say. You have your solar plexus, which is just underneath your rib cage where your core is. You have your heart, your throat, your third eye and your crown. So during my sessions, I put a crystal on each of your chakras. As I go through them, we'll put some pictures up for you so you can see what type we put on there. So at your crown, I place an amethyst. Amethyst is an extremely powerful and protective stone. Amethyst is also extremely calming to the mind and is great for meditation. It absorbs negative and emits positive energy using its gentle female energy. At your third eye, I place a sodalite. Sodalite can unlock logic and intuition, plus opening up spiritual perception. It can bring great clarity and wisdom and is great at clearing electromagnetic energies. At your throat, I would normally place a blue agate. Blue agate is believed to be a wonderful healing stone. It is the stone of peace and happiness. It radiates calming, easing energies and to be able to neutralize negative energies. At your heart, you've probably guessed it, I'll put a rose quartz. Rose quartz is widely known as the love crystal. It is the stone of unconditional love and infinite peace. It can aid in the release of anger, resentment and other negative emotions. It helps your heart chakra balance itself. At your solar plexus, I place a citrine. Citrine is a powerful regenerator and cleanser. It is an energizing stone and that it can absorb and dissipate negative energy. It is a stone of abundance and is said to be able to manifest and attract wealth, prosperity and success. At your sacral, I place a carnelian. Now don't get confused with this one and amber. Carnelian grounds and anchors you into your present reality. It promotes positive life choices, dispels fatigue and quell anger, fear and hatred. At your root, I place a hematite at each foot. It's kind of black, but it's got like a metallic sheen to it. It's very cool. Hematite is a great grounding and protecting stone. It can harmonise the mind, body and soul. It has a powerful connection with blood and that it can restore, strengthen and regulate the blood supply. And finally, I place a green aventurine in each hand. Aventurine is a very positive stone of prosperity. It also protects you against environmental pollution and electromagnetic fields. It brings balance and can help to stabilise your mind and enhance their perception and creativity. During my session, I will ask you a number of questions which would often tell me whether your chakras are overactive or underactive and which ones I really need to work on. To boost your body's energy, I also like to create a crystal grid on the floor near you. Crystal grids are crystals that are placed in symmetrical and geometric patterns. In the centre, I place a master crystal. This is the crystal that best fits your problems overall, which are going to boost your body. Here are a few examples of crystal grid patterns. And finally, I'd also like to tell you of a treatment that I love doing as well. It's called crystal pendulum dowsing. Here is my amethyst pendulum. By hovering her over a certain chakra, I can boost and focus more energy through her tip. They're great for if your mind is clouded as well and you can't answer a particular question. So I would just hold it above your crown chakra, third eye, and ask the question. It will then spin in a certain direction and tell me the true answer to that question that you've been struggling with. And that is it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my chat about crystals and crystal therapy. It's not scary. I'm not entirely sure why the Western side of the world kind of gave up on crystals, because they are fascinating. It is amazing. And they're really pretty. This is an amethyst. They're so pretty and so special. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Please give it a like. Don't forget to put a comment down of a film or a book or a TV series that you've watched that has a crystal based in it, or a stone. I can give you one now that you're probably going to go, oh yeah. I mean, Indiana Jones in general. They're all about it, aren't they? I think Temple of Doom, they had the sacred stones. The last one, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. They're everywhere and we just don't realise and we just don't see it. But I hope you really did enjoy this video. If you haven't watched any of our other videos, go and watch them. Anyway guys, I'll see you all next week. Bye!